Back with Bobby and JG Radio. We actually had David before, and he's come back again because for whatever reason he still likes Bobby. This is weird. David. It is weird. David Ramirez with UTSA Small Business Development Center. Dave, thanks for hanging out with us again.
Hey, thanks for inviting me back.
How's everything down there at UTSA? Beep, beep.
Hey, we're doing great. The Building Business Excellence program is coming up here pretty quick, and it's a great program to grow small businesses and really focus on growth organizations.
Right.
And so this is not a program for anyone who's just getting ready to start up. It's really a program for people who are growing and developing and becoming something bigger than themselves.
Give us an example of between the startup that you guys also take though, right. at the development center, like what portion in a person's or in a company's platform is this kind of directed to?
Sure. So if you've ever been down Culebra Avenue, kind of by St. Mary's, there's an old...
Bobby, you're there a lot, right?
Oh, when I'm going home.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, there's an old gas station, convenience store that says Marellas Ice on it.
Yeah.
About 40, 50 years ago, they used to sell ice in brown paper bags, and they would make it there in the back of it. And now, just last year, about 2 miles away from there, they opened an ice manufacturing plant that's doing 1.5 tons of ice every single day.
Wow.
So for them to go in a multi-generational family, a multi-generational company, from a little convenience store in Culebra down to this major manufacturing plant, one of the largest ice distributors in South Texas, how do you make sure that your family's still involved? How do you make sure, that your ideas and your hopes and dreams and what you want to do with your business continues? And so Jesse Marellas, the father, is passing it down to his son and his 2 kids, and he's trying to make sure that they're getting the business, they're going to do the right thing, and it's not just because their last name is Morales. It's because they're trained and developed and they know what they're going to do.
And so that's where you take people to that next level, create legacy in that regard. Right. But like so how long were they without you, and then to make that jump? And was that jump their idea, or did you guys actually help them create that idea?
They knew that they were going to make the jump. They knew that they had the option of either staying in consumer spaces or maybe growing into manufacturing. And so when they came to the SBDC, we do a lot of financial analysis. We can do market research. And so we sort of helped give them the information to make the right decisions. We never say this is the right path.
Right.
And so this Building Business Excellence program is saying, okay, you've made the right financial decisions, you've made the right business decision, but how do you make the right management decision to create a corporate culture that's going to continue your dream, not just beyond your generation and your kids' generation, but, hopefully for the rest of time?
Because a lot of... I'm sorry, go ahead,
So say I did want to take my business to the next level, what would it cost me to
You, Bob, millions. It would be millions.
So for this program, it's $2,500 for a 7-week, every Tuesday, starting in February. And it's really based in science. And I've been through a lot of executive leadership programs, and there's lots of kind of touchy-feely, kumbaya, crunchy granola stuff, and that's not what we're trying to do here. We're pulling...
I like granola, though.
You're like one of the few. We're pulling the top research. We have the Cialdini Institute pulling research for us. We have some of the most prestigious business schools and business laboratories around the world giving research to Holt Development Services. And so we partner with Holt Development, which you probably know, Holt Caterpillar, and of course Peter Holt that owns the Spurs.
Oh, yeah.
This is the same kind of technique and policy and values-based leadership.
That he's sending his crew to.
That he sends his crew to.
Right. I remember you guys saying that. So let's talk about that leadership. What is values-based leadership in general?
And so values-based leadership is just the idea that you as an owner or you as an entrepreneur can impart a perspective into your business that carries on not just in what you do, but also what your management does, what your frontline employees do, what your supply chain does. And so, for example, at the Institute for Economic Development and Small Business Development Center, our values are integrity, innovation, excellence, and service. And so all of us can operate pretty autonomously as long as we know that we're meeting those values in everything that we do every day.
Sure.
And so I don't need to ask my manager, hey, is this a good idea?
Can I reply to this email? Or can I take this meeting? Or should I talk to this person, or should I follow up with this person?
If I can say, yeah, that's an innovation thing, or no, that's a service thing, or this is an excellence thing, we can operate and not have to be completely squashed by a management structure.
Right, because that creates like a helicopter mom micromanagement, right?
Exactly.
And it hurts both sides, because the employee themselves don't feel confident enough to do whatever they're supposed to do. And then the leader also is like, oh my God.
Too busy holding people's hands.
Yeah, and then you just want to get rid of that person if you have to do it anyways.
Right, and it makes it really static. We always talk about disruption and innovation, and you can't have that if you're worried about, am I going to email the wrong person? Am I going to take the wrong phone call? If you have those values built in, then you never have to ask that question.
And why do you feel that the value-based leadership matters when things like Six Sigma and like Lean, all these other programs exist?
I think they work in companion with Lean and Six Sigma and all these various management strategies, because it's not about the production, it's not about the customer service, it's really about what do you think is important in your business. Is it your faith? Is it your business acumen? Is it your innovation? Is it your integrity? Is it, what is it that's important to you as a manager, and how do you make sure that everyone from the janitor to the receptionist to the manager to the CEO all have that same perspective? And then that way you just carry it all the way through.
And do you feel that for most people that has a business like the Marellas Group that you were talking about earlier, doesn't seem that tangible? Because it seems like when you talk about from the CEO to the janitor, right? There's so many people in between. Do you feel that when they start this program, it seems overwhelming?
It's often overwhelming. They think, how am I going to get this all the way down?
Right.
But we've seen people like Dixie Flag and Banner. You may have seen their giant flag going up 35. Right. They sent their CEO through the program 1 year. They sent their executive management team the next year, and then they sent mid-managers the next year. And now even people that are on sewing machines making these big flags understand what the values of the company are, understand what they're trying to do.
Right.
And you didn't have to send everyone in it. You start with the very top, and it sort of saturates down over time.
And so this is $2,500 for the program?
Yes.
Which I think in itself is pretty cheap.
It is, and it's a relatively small cohort. We already have about 12 companies signed up. There's a couple of spots left. But again, to know that this is the same strategy that the Spurs use to organize their team, that Holt Caterpillar uses, and that some of the largest companies in the city are using, and to create that access for small business when normally they'd have to go out of town and pay a whole lot more for this sort of
So if it's good enough for the Spurs, it's good enough for me.
I feel the same way.
Exactly.
You should have just started with that. It would have been the easiest conversation ever.
Yeah, that would have been in 2 seconds.
Peter. All right, got it. All right, so for more information, go to mybbe.org, and that's mybbe.org, or call them at 210-458-2460. That's our show for this week. See you next Sunday.
Bye.